I learned earlier this week that 1 in 4 Americans has a clutter problem. And of those same people, 55% of them say that their clutter stresses them out. I feel like a lot of us have a bit of a wake-up call, or we just get to a point in our life and we decide that we just have too much stuff. And it really doesn't matter where the stuff came from. I think that it comes from a lot of places. Maybe overconsumption, maybe from kids, maybe from being passed down to you, maybe you've inherited a lot of things. I mean, truly though, it doesn't matter, right? We have the problem. Now we're coming to realize it. What can we do? And it doesn't have to cause you stress and worry. I think that's the biggest thing, because I think the first step is, okay, it's affecting us and we realize that we need to do something about it. Well, okay, step 2 is now we're going to do something about it. So today I'm going to share 5 things that I'm going to be doing. These are things that I'm going to stop doing for 2025. And I'm just going to share what they are. These are kind of like newer things for me that I'm going to do. This is going to help me reduce my clutter and have a less stressful 2025. So the first thing that I'm going to stop doing is I'm going to stop buying anything that's not on my list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a list of things that I want to buy for 2025. I have a few things on my list. I do want a tortilla press. I possibly want to get a pair of new flat shoes. I have enough sneakers and things like that, but for work and conferences, I kind of want a pair of flat shoes. So I'm going to put that on my list. I'm just going to start thinking about the things that I need, and I'm going to put it on a list. And then when I am somewhere and I'm tempted to buy it, or I'm browsing online and I see something and it looks good and it looks on sale, I'm going to check my list. And if it's not on my list, I am not buying it. And I'm going to carry this forward all the way even to groceries. Before I go shopping, I'm going to scan my pantry. I'm going to look at the fridge, and I'm only going to make a list of things that we need, that we truly need. And it's going to be things that I'm going to buy that will merge with the things I already have in my pantry so that I can actually use up the food that I already have. And it's going to be based on the things that I want to cook, not based on when I get into the grocery store and if it looks good or not. The next thing that I will be stopping doing for 2025, and we'll see how this goes, and this is definitely my plan, I am not going to be buying any cleaning products next year. I have enough cleaning products and I want to use them all up. Now, as a caveat, I do make most of my own cleaning products, so there is that factor, and I'm trying to reduce the chemicals in my home. I'm just going to try to get along with what I have. I do have a few canisters of Bon Ami, and I also think I have some Barkeeper's Friend. I'm going to use those up. I do find that I need abrasive cleaners. I also have a thing of bleach. I don't like to clean with bleach, but there are a couple things that I do need bleach for, and I'm just going to have a small container of bleach, and I'm going to pull that out when I absolutely need it. The next thing that I'm going to stop doing, and I have a problem with this one, and I'm going to stop doing it, and maybe this will help you too. I'm going to stop overfilling my spaces. I'm talking about shelves, closets, drawers. You know this. There's the container concept, right? And it comes from Dana K. White. She's the decluttering expert that you probably all know and love. And she has this thought that if you have a container, then you can keep as many items that can fit in that container. So for example, if you have a drawer for socks, then you're allowed to have as many socks as you can fit into that drawer. However, I am a stuffer, and I will stuff that drawer so full that I can't even open it. And I just don't think that's the spirit of the container method. So I am going to stop stuffing my things. Let me just tell you this little story about my pantry. We built a pantry a few years ago, and it was specifically put together. We had this specific area where I was putting all of my kitchen appliances and kitchen items in there. And it's been very accessible and wonderful. Every time I need something, I just pull it out. Very simple. Well, since that pantry's been built, in these last few years, I've been stuffing more and more things into that pantry. I need to go through and I need to declutter it. I need to get those items out of there. And maybe I don't want to declutter all of those items, but I'm not going to be storing them in the prime real estate of my kitchen pantry anymore. I need to get them out of there because I don't use them all the time. So what I'm recommending for this one is I think that if you can focus on 50 to 80% full instead of 100% full, I think this is going to go a long way, because when you want to use your drawers and your shelves and your closets, you want to see what you have. You want it to feel relaxing when you're needing to take something out of a drawer. You don't want to feel stressed out like I'm going to open the drawer and then this is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back and the whole drawer is going to collapse or something like that. I mean, I have this thought frequently because I have a lot of drawers that are stuffed full. So now 50 to 80% full is my new thing. I'm going to stop stuffing these things full, and I'm going to continue to try and make my house as functional as possible and, of course, maintain it. If you enjoy content like this, don't forget to subscribe. Click that button below. It's free. This next one's going to be tough because when I go to the grocery store, this is just hard, and especially if you have kids who are asking you for things. But what I'm going to stop doing is I'm going to stop buying food that has a ton of packaging. They have gotten crazy with the packaging, and I think the reason is honestly that the prices have gone up for the food, but they're continuing to use the same size containers. They're just putting less food in those containers. So you're buying these giant boxes with a little bit of food, or you're buying these big plastic bulky containers and it's just a bunch of packaging. I do not want that extra packaging in my home, not to mention it's wasteful. So I'm really going to focus this year on stopping buying food that has extra packaging that's just not needed. And the other thing I will say is generally when food has all of this packaging, oftentimes it's very highly processed food, the ultra processed food, which is really bad for you. And I do think a lot of these items I can make myself. That's another reason why I'm even looking at the tortilla press, because those come in plastic bags. It's not excess packaging, but I can make the tortillas at home with some flour, water, perfectly healthy and easy, and a lot better for you without the chemicals, without the packaging. I'm just going to try to focus on eliminating those purchases of items that just have all this extra packaging. Try to either buy brands that have less packaging, or maybe I'll try making it at home myself. And I will say this also includes delivered foods. So a lot of times when you order from delivery, it will come with extra utensils, like plastic ones and paper and bags and all this packaging. I'm going to really limit our delivery orders. We don't do too much of it. We do pizza from time to time, and that's generally okay. Just comes in a pizza box. But honestly, if we're going to want food from a restaurant, I think it's just better to go to the restaurant anyway, because when you have your stuff sitting in these to-go containers and it's coming to your house, it just doesn't taste as good. It's sitting in this container. I'd rather just sit in the restaurant, right? So focusing on not getting delivery as well as a way to eliminate all of this waste, all of this packaging and things that I don't want coming into our home for 2025. The next thing that I'm going to do, and this is going to take a little bit of effort, but I think I can do it, and maybe this will give you a good idea, is I'm going to stop buying duplicates of non-consumable items. And I've noticed that I actually do this a lot, and I kind of picked this up because my husband does it as well. But have you ever found that when you find something that you really like, you end up wanting to buy duplicates of it or a couple of them? For example, I have a pair of black gloves, and then my daughter wants the same pair, and I said, okay, I'll get you a pair. And I was thinking, maybe I'll buy 3 pairs because they're good gloves. She needs a pair. Maybe someone will lose them. Maybe someone else will want them. And it's just this mentality of, why am I buying these duplicates? If someone loses their gloves, I can go buy them at that moment. I don't need to have a stockpile of these gloves. I find I also do this with uniform shirts for my kids. I'll just end up buying too many, and there's only 5 days in a week. They're not wearing more than that, so they really don't need more than that. I also do this with clothing that even I like. I'll buy a t-shirt and I think it's nice, and then I want to buy it in multiple colors, and then I end up getting sick of it and I don't even wear all the colors. So I'm just going to be more mindful going into 2025 and thinking about the things that I might be buying in duplicates that I don't really need to buy. And if I do need them at some point, fine, I can buy them then, but I'm not going to stockpile them or buy them all at once. Okay, guys, those are my quick 5 things that I'm going to stop doing for 2025. I think that this is really going to help with the amount of things coming into our home and reducing our clutter. Hopefully these tips helped you and maybe gave you some good ideas that you could try for next year. Thank you so much for watching. And if you want to keep on watching Decluttering, I'm going to link a playlist. So click on it and I'll see you over there. Bye-bye.